Hi guys, Will Terry here, and this video I'm going to talk about the costs for my book. Now this video is number 9 in the playlist How to Create a Money-Making Art Project. And yeah, so I said I was going to share every aspect of this project along the way. So if you haven't started from the beginning, you probably won't know exactly what I'm talking about, but you can go back and watch those videos. So let's dive in. So what you're looking at here, before I get to the costs, is the cover design, and I'm not sharing the book title, and the main reason is I've had people copy stuff that I've done in the past, and in this one I really want to get my book uploaded to Amazon first. The tragedy would be that someone would take my title and upload something before I can get there, and then I've got a book that I can't upload to Amazon. So I'm holding on to that, but I will be releasing the title as soon as it goes live on Amazon. Now, there's two different books that we're talking about here. One, I am printing books in China on my own, and I'm also uploading to Amazon. I will make more videos in the future on the whole process of uploading to Amazon and why I'm doing it that way as well. And I'm going to dive into that whole thing, and I'm going to share my stats, how many books I sell. And I imagine that this video series will go on for maybe a year or even more. Maybe it won't go as regular as is right now, where I'm uploading every week. But as I have new information, I want to share that, so that some of you that are thinking or contemplating on kind of doing the same kind of thing can kind of know what to expect. So just showing you the cover design here, and I also wanted to throw in, I didn't want to make a whole video on how to include extra bleed, quote unquote bleed, which is the extra image around your artwork that will get cut off when they print the book. So if you have like an image that what they call bleeds off the page, which means there's no white space, it just goes until the cut. You have to give them extra illustration. In this case, my printer wanted, like on this 8x10 book, they wanted like an inch all the way around, which was more than I was used to. So my strategy was in my initial So my strategy was in my initial drawing is I don't draw this much extra because it's unnatural, and as I'm designing, I actually design the image that I want to use, and then I add extra to it. And so where I drew to originally was right around here, where I hope you can see my cursor right here. And then I just add extra to it. So you can see kind of the crop right there. And that's how much I'm going to hopefully, well, I mean, the crop will be right around there somewhere. And yeah, so anyway, just giving you a little bit more insight into the bookmaking process. Again, this is the cover minus the title, and I will be sharing the title as soon as I'm uploaded to Amazon. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into my expenses on this book. So what I did was I hired a print broker here in the US, and this is someone that I've worked with in the past. She actually helped me do my book, What They Don't Teach in Art School, and also the Kickstarter playbook that goes along with that. Both of those you can find on my website at willterry.com. And I've got links below in the description. So I've worked with her in the past. She's really good, and what she does is she has contacts in China. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the idea of printing stuff in China because there's copyright issues. They tend to take what they want, and that's a whole nother issue. The bottom line is, as a entrepreneur and as someone who is trying to survive as an artist, you have to get your costs as low as you possibly can in order not to go out of business trying a venture like this. And I'm going to be showing you how much money I'm investing in this. If your costs double, it's much harder for you to recoup. It takes twice as long for you to recoup your expenses, so you're in twice as much danger. Here in the U.S., if I print here, my cost would be at least double that of China. So people, they say, I would love to print domestically. I would love to keep my money here in the U.S., but as an entrepreneur trying to survive, it's almost impossible to take on that kind of risk when it could come back and bite me. And I'll show you in the expenses how many books I'd have to sell to get my expenses. So I got a quote from my print broker who hires the printer in China, and actually she works through a liaison in China as well, who speaks Chinese. So you have to actually find someone to speak Chinese to get to the printers that have the best prices. There are print brokers over here that are easy to find, like let's say Print Ninja, and I have found their price to be double what I can get through. Her name is Lauren, and I really quick. A lot of people ask me for her number or for her contact information. She has asked me to really vet people because it's expensive for her to get quotes. So like one time I made a video and she had like 10 people asking for quotes, and she went through the process of doing that, and then none of them went through with their project. Anyway, so she lost like a couple of days of working with her printer or with her liaison in China and getting quotes and dealing with the emails and everything. She's just out that time, and so she's asked me, like, please make sure you don't forward my information to anyone that you don't know. So unfortunately, I'm not going to put that on the video description. If you want to contact me and describe your project and talk about like you've got the money to move forward and you're really looking for the best price, then maybe I'll give you her number. But yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, I asked for a quote on 3,000 books, 5,000 books, and I believe 8,000 books. Yeah. And the prices that I got per book were $2.28 for 3,000, $1.85. If you've never done offset printing before, this is US, you wouldn't know probably that the costs go down substantially when you buy volume in printing. That's just the way it is. And so this is a full color book, and that's the price. And you look on Amazon, or you look at go to like a Barnes and Noble or your local bookstore or something, and you see children's books anywhere from like $15 to $20, somewhere in that price range. And like these are the prices they're getting. In fact, big publishers are getting even better prices than this. They're getting like their books often for under $1, and they're charging that like $15 or $20. And they have to. You think, well, why charge so much? But by the time, with all the hands that are involved in actually getting that book to market, the price doubles and doubles again and doubles again, and with the advertising and marketing and expenses and staff and all that stuff, eventually the profit is really cut down to a much smaller amount. So anyway, just an interesting thing. So I looked at the 228 mark. I really don't know what kind of demand I'm going to have, other than, and I think I mentioned this in past videos, I have a guy who is going to be selling these books for me. Because this is a very specific book on pickleball for children. It's a story book. It's geared towards the pickleball audience. So mainstream sales are not probably going to be a thing, but he knows every paddle manufacturer. He knows people that work at all the major companies. He knows people that work at all the retailers. He knows people that work that own paddle and racket shops around the country. And so he is going to be selling this book to those guys wholesale for me. And so I looked at it and I thought I'm going to go for the 5,000 because it seems like the biggest price jump, and then going down to 8,000 is not that much of a difference. So I think my comfort zone was 5,000 books. So if we get out a calculator here and we do $1.85 times 5,000, I did it times 500. So it'd be an extra zero. So we're just gonna go. What was that? 925. Yeah. So 9,250. So we'll just put that over here. So that's my cost out of pocket for these books. And then just kind of moving down the list, I'm going to have, so this is book cost. And then I'm going to have freight. I hope I can spell it. And my freight for the other books was under 50 cents a book, but I always like to figure that just as a round number. So 5,000 books, 50 cents, cut it in half. It's going to be 2,500. And then storage. When I get those books, I got to store them somewhere, right? I was looking at storage units, and I decided to just store them in my house. Part of the reason is, down where I live near Phoenix, the storage units, there's been so many people that have moved and migrated to this state from California that all the storage units are like packed. And we used to have one, we gave it up, and now there's like a waiting list. So I'll probably get on the waiting list because I do probably end up wanting to have a storage unit, because if this thing goes the way that I want it to, I'm going to be doing another book. There's other merchandise that I want to make, like a puzzle and things like that to go along with this. So at that point, I will definitely need a storage unit. But right now, I think I have barely enough room between my house and my salesman's house that I can store those books. In fact, you might see boxes stacked behind me in this little office, because this is where I'm going to be storing a lot of them. I live in a very small house, and did that by design to really, really sock away a lot of money towards my retirement. So wanted to live well below my means, and so that's why I don't have a whole lot of space. But I don't want to. I don't like paying a monthly expense, even if I can afford it. I am frugal, and I love being frugal, and I love saving money, and I love investing money, and I love having money to invest. And so I really try to watch my expenses, even though I could easily afford $100 a month for this book. But why throw money away when I don't have to? So there we go. I had to spend money on ISBN numbers and barcodes. And if you want to know, because I'm doing this so that other people can kind of follow along. But if you want to get ISBNs, you go to boker.com. At least that's where I go. And and you make an account here, and this is where for authors, you can start here, and you can buy your barcodes and your ISBN numbers. And without going into it here, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy how to do it. To buy one is more expensive than to buy 5. So I bought 5 this time. So it cost me, with the barcodes, it cost me $400 roughly. But per book, I should probably divide that and say that for 5, it was like $80. So, I'm sitting on the rest of the money for other books in the future. And those barcodes will stay in my account at Boker, and I can just go there and download the barcode and the ISBN number whenever I'm ready. On their website, you assign it. You assign that ISBN to your book title. You fill out a form that links that number to your book forever, and it's a pretty slick system. And you really want to kind of go this route if you I mean, it's a little extra work, it's a little extra money, but if let's say a small publisher wants your book, or maybe not a publisher, that's not the best example because they'll use their own barcode, but like let's say a retailer, somebody wants to put your book in their store. If you don't have a barcode on it, it makes it really difficult for them because they want to enter it in their system and they want to be able to scan it at the register to get a price and all that. So it's really helpful to just do this kind of work in the beginning, and plan for success rather than go the other route and have a deal that can't go through because you don't have a barcode on your book. So that's a possibility that can happen to you. I also had to hire a designer, or I didn't have to, a graphic designer. I don't trust myself. I found a lady who is an amazing designer. Her name is Marilee Olison Nelson, and I've shared her information on videos before, and I'll put a link below in the description to this video, and give you her contact information. She is amazing. Her design work is spot on, but and her file preparation is perfect for sending off to printers. I don't have to worry that I've done something wrong and then I'm going to have to go back and spend costly time when I get the proof back from the printer. This is a kind of a luxury fee for me because I could design it on my own. However, I'm not as good as type as she is, and I don't know all the rules of graphic design. And I want my book I don't want anyone to look at it and go, well, this looks kind of amateur in some way, like the formatting isn't the way that it should be. I just want peace of mind. Her cost on this was $2,000, and that is an insurance price for me to sleep well at night knowing that everything's going to be done right. The other thing that she's really good at is she can't help but edit when she's designing. So I get a second set of eyes, and she catches stuff that I don't catch, my wife doesn't catch, and I've even hired an editor, and she's caught stuff that the editor hasn't caught either. With the children's book, I didn't feel like I needed an editor, but yeah. So the stuff that she catches, like one thing she caught was in the front of the book, and I talked about this I believe in the last video about the hiding the pickle in every illustration. She said, I said in the beginning of the book, can you find the picture or the hidden pickle on every, I believe I said on every illustration. And she's like, well, you don't have one in every illustration. And I meant every page. And she's like, well, there's some illustrations because you have these spot illustrations and you have it in one of them, but not the others. And you're going to drive kids and adults crazy. And so anyway, she was like, you need to fix that. Either change the words or change the put a pickle in every single illustration. So very worth it there. I plan on making a website, and I'm right now I'm planning to use Shopify. And with that, I'm going to set up the website myself mostly. I don't know how much that's going to cost because there's a small monthly fee. Let's say it's $25 a month or something like that I'm going to end up paying for that website. But there are what do you call them? Plugins. There's all kinds of plugin websites that I might end up using, services that will enhance my storefront over time. And I can't calculate or predict those expenses right now, but those, when I know those, I'll share those in a future video. So I'm going to have website costs. I'm going to pass these costs on to buyers in a way in shipping. However, it's hard I'm going to put shipping down here because consumers through Amazon have gotten used to free shipping. So there's some things that small retailers like myself can do to try to still compete and not be, abnormal. A lot of times, and I'm like this too. You get to a website and you find out that you want this sort of thing. You're thinking about buying it. You put it in your cart. You go through the checkout process, and then bam, you get hit with that shipping, and you're like, "Holy cow! I only wanted to spend $20 or $25, and now this thing's going to cost me, $30, $35, and I didn't really want to spend $35." And so you abandon your shopping cart, right? And so, so retailers are trying to figure out, well, what do we do to avoid that? And so what my strategy is I want to offer free shipping. But so like on a single item that they buy from this website, they're not going to get free shipping. And then you've seen this before, right? So if you buy two things, that's kind of the plan right now. If you buy two things, you get free shipping. So I'll have something. And what I'm actually doing is I'm making right now a poster at the same time that I'm making this book, and it's getting printed at the same printer. It's actually two posters. It's a color poster and a black and white poster. The black and white is going to be done on more of a uncoated craft paper that's thin, where kids can either color it in or they can find all the hidden pickles, and there's a ton of hidden pickles in there. So it's a fun activity, and I can get both of those. It looks like I'm going to get both of those posters printed for that's two of them, totaling $1 for a pair, for the pair, right? So $1. And what I'll do is the plan right now is to sell them on the website for $10, but to offer free shipping if they get two items. And at first, the only two items I'm going to have are the book. You get a second book, or the book and the pair of posters. And so that will actually, I'll end up basically paying for their shipping with their money for buying those posters. So I really won't make any money on the posters. I'll only make money on the book, but I won't have to pay for shipping. So there's little games that you have to play. And if that's confusing, I will probably explain that once I get to the website. A month or two down the road, when I set up the website, I'll go through that whole thing and you can see that. So there's shipping, and with shipping, under shipping, there's going to be the boxes that I have to put the books in. There's going to be, like little things like tape. I'm going to put cards, that, like a thank you card, and like a coupon code for another purchase in the future. And just little things like that. I'm going to have, labels for the mail program that I use. I'll probably use a Dymo label printer. And so those are kind of the expenses. So let's total this up. And right now we'll just go with what we know. So let me bring in the calculator again. And so we have $92.50 for the books, $2,500. That's probably high for the freight, but we're going to keep that number anyway. And then we have $80 for the barcode, and then the designer is $2,000. Now that's only for this first print run, because if I can sell through these books and go through another print run, I don't have to pay that designer cost anymore, and my price will go down. But for now, let's just add that in there. And so we're coming up with 13. Let's just write that down. I'm going to need to let's do this. So we got 13,830, and that's my total cost out of pocket that I'm going to have to write a check for. And then let's divide that by 5,000 books. So we're looking at $2.76 per book. And out of that, that's what I'm gonna charge. I've already set a MSRP, suggested retail price of $24.95 for the book, but I plan on offering discount codes on my website to bring that cost down a little bit. And then I've got a wholesale price, and I think I'll do a totally different video based on how I'm paying my sales guy, and how I'm selling, what the cost is for selling wholesale and stuff like that. So I'll just do that in like another whiteboard video, or Photoshop video on another one. So yeah, so there you go. And that's the expenses that I've got, that I'm looking at for this book. I am finished right now with the book, and the book has been totally designed, and we've just sent the files off to the printer. I'm looking at getting books back probably sometime in March of this year, 2023. And right now this is January. And so yeah, so I'm looking at getting them then. And that's my video. I gotta tell you though, before you leave, that we are increasing our prices at SVS Learn on January 22nd. And if you don't know what that is, myself and two partners, Jake Parker and Lee White, we started a online illustration school for children's book illustrators primarily right now. And check out the classes that we have. Right now, you can get the same classes we all taught at universities. We all taught illustration and at university art classes, and we have hired a lot of other professional illustrators, and we teach these classes. Right now, you can get in for I believe it's $24.99 a month, or it's like $200 a year. That price is going up on January 22nd. So hopefully you're seeing this video before January 22nd, because if you have, it's already gone up. But anyway, yeah, tell your friends, anybody that wants to get in, you can lock in at the current rate and be grandfathered in for as long as you have your account. And with that, thanks for watching this video. Can't wait to make the next one. I'll be sharing all my facts and figures and experiences. I'll share the poster that I talked about, what my theories are on doing that, and you know, how I created that in future videos. And I'll catch you on the next one.